Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Santon, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today, what are we going to be doing? Probably not going to be too long of a video. I always say this, and then it turns out to be like a 15-20 minute video. But yeah, not sure how long this video is going to be. Seems like we got a lot of, pretty much almost only, Freljord support. I think we got a Demacia card or two. But pretty much just, setup supporters, followers, whatever you want to call it, for our new upcoming champion, which is most definitely Ornn. Ornn is both mentioned in the flavor text of some of these cards, and you know it's Ornn. He's kind of the forging equipment guy. Now, granted, if they could throw a curveball and just be like, "Here's new," but yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed to be Ornn. Some of these cards are pretty sweet. I like pretty much all of them. I think all of them are pretty solid. Some of them are kind of bland, but that doesn't mean it's weak. It just means it's a little bland. So yeah, we got some new Forge cards. I should probably, before I actually show these cards, pull up what the Forge keyword does for the people who don't actually know what Forge does. So we'll do that really quick before I show off this. So let's go and actually look at these cards and talk about the cards and what Forge does. So before we actually talk about the cards, just a quick reminder, quick refresh over what Forge does if you didn't see my previous video or you just don't know what Forge does. Forge basically says grant an ally +1/+1. If they are equipped, grant the equipment, their item, +1/+1 instead. I'm pretty sure it works with attachments or attached units. So, you know, Papercraft Dragon. Ooh, kind of scary. I have no idea in all honesty. I feel like it should because it says grant it to their item, not like their equipment. So yeah, that's something I probably should look up if it's even been confirmed or denied how it works with attach. So yeah, here are the cards we have for today. Pretty much all Freljord cards except for Demacian Steel, but that's technically being made by a card. Oh no, it's not being made by a card. There's a little common mana gem at the end, at the bottom. So yeah, Freljord cards and one Demacia card, and I guess you could argue Combat Cook is a Demacia Freljord card. But yeah, let's see here. Combat Cook. When I'm summoned, I improvise and forge me 4 mana 2/2 Weapon Master. I suck at evaluating forge and improvise cards. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm so used to just looking at stats and using the stat as a baseline to my evaluation, because every single like improvise card is understated. So it's like it's 4 mana 2/2. You get +1/+1 from the forge, and then you improvise. So it's like what, like a 4/4 stats on average, like a total of 8 stats. That's a pretty good for a 4-drop. There's versatility. It's value when it dies because of you know, improvise. So I don't know. I like the card. Demacia probably likes it. It's kind of like it's not exactly a Bright Steel. Yeah, Bright Steel Protector. But I think it's pretty good. I think it is a solid card. It's like, the way I look at it is kind of like a bigger but not as good effect Bright Steel, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. 4 mana is always kind of like an awkward curve in a lot of decks. Usually, a lot of the time, I feel like champions are your 4-drop. A lot of 4-drops just kind of suck in terms of stats alone, and this gives good stats. It's a powerful card. Demacia likes it, Freljord likes it, so I think it's a solid card overall. But yeah, like I think it's good. It's like you get to choose from the improvise pool, and then you get to give +1/+1 to one of these, and basically, yeah, it gives +1/+1 to whatever improvise weapon, improvise equipment you chose. So you know, 3/1 Official Whack, 2/1 up Cycle Rake. Seems really, really strong. 4 mana is a lot of mana, though. Forge just in general seems really good. Next up, though, Weaponsmith's Apprentice. 1 mana 1/1. First time you equip an ally, forge it. It's a powerful effect. Also, you know what else about this card? That's a very cute little fire turtle. I have no idea if this is actually a creature that we know of in lore. Like, I don't mean lore as in LOR, I mean like lore of League of Legends. That is a really cute little turtle. As for this card itself, very powerful effect, kind of a weak body. Like, if you can get this on turn 1 and then start casting a lot of improvised stuff, that's a pretty strong curve. Like, it's kind of like a Durand Sculptor, I think is the correct Durand, the 2-mana 2/2 Durand. It's nowhere near as good as Durand Sculptor because, sure, it's more expensive, but it also is bigger. 1 health is why I'm worried about this card. Yes, it's a 1-drop. Yes, it's a backline, quote-unquote, value giver, whatever you want to call it. So it can't be that good, but we have so many pings in this game right now. Vile Feast, it's not really a ping, but Hate Spike's popular, Pokey Sticks, Make It Rain, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. I guess you could argue it is in Freljord, so you have Troll Chant, but would you really use a Troll Chant to save this? The other problem I feel is it kind of sucks to be drawing in the late game when you are in that scenario where you and your opponent both kind of have no cards left over, and you and your opponent are both trying to draw that one really high impact card from your deck, and drawing this kind of sucks. You could also argue, though, like, you are an equipment deck, so you have all the equipment to throw on this card, even though I'm pretty sure you can only throw 1 equipment on it. It's still pretty solid. So yeah, I feel like it's fine. It's just I really feel like I have to play 3 of them, and that doesn't just feel good. So yeah, I like the card. I'm finding it hard to evaluate, but forging anytime you equip something is really good. Just make the weapons really big. So yeah, it seems really good. Have it on 1 and you play Jax on 2, like turn 1. I already forgot the name of it. Turn 1 Weaponsmith's Apprentice, turn 2 Jax. You'll have what? A 4/3 with quick attack on turn 2. That's pretty good, I'd say. And then your Light of Acacia is also a 1/1. So even if Jax dies, you'll have 1 mana +1/+1 quick attack weapon equipment. I'm gonna keep saying weapons, aren't I? So yeah, I think it's pretty good on curve. I just kind of feel like it's a little weak. I still think it's strong. I think it's a very strong effect. But I think its health is going to hold it back, and the lack of just high impact in the late game is going to hold it back too. But it's still really good in the early game and on curve and in certain scenarios. Now, what is this big boy? Hearthblood Mender. 5 mana, 5/5. Okay, solid stat line for a 5-drop. Play. Forge an ally and heal it. And your Nexus for 3. Okay, I think it's fine. Like, again, good stats. You're getting a Forge equipment. I don't know, I look at this like Kindly Tavern Keeper, but bigger, and Tavern Keeper is good. You're paying an extra... So comparing this to Tavern Keeper, you're both healing the unit and your Nexus, so you're paying an extra 2 mana for basically a second heal, +2/+2 of stats, and the Forge. The downside is it is an extra 2 mana, so it might be a little hard to actually fit in your deck and not just get run over. But yeah, I like it. I think it's a pretty good card. 5-drop slot does get a little crowded, though, I'd say, in Freljord, like Freljord mid-range, which is what I think this deck wants to be in. Basically, just Avaros and Hearthguard. Also, I have no idea where Ornn is going to be. Maybe Ornn's going to be like a mid-game backline kind of guy, like a 4-drop. Maybe he'll be late game, and he'll be like, oh, when I come down, throw all equipment on me that's in your hand or something, or I have no idea. Maybe he'll be like, for the rest of the game, you can stack multiple equipment on your units. I have no idea. Like, Ornn, I feel like a lot of these cards are really hard to evaluate because it's just like, yeah, okay, it's cool. In a vacuum, it's a cool card, but I think I need more synergy, and I think Ornn is going to tie it all together. It's kind of like a Blade Dance thing. When we first saw Blade Dance, we're like, yeah, it seems pretty solid, but we need some kind of powerful synergy, something unfair, basically, to tie all of this together, and I feel like that's going to be what we'll see tomorrow with Ornn. But yeah, as for this card, it's solid. The heal is nice. The The Forge is nice. It just stalls. Like, that's the thing. It's not really progressing you to a win con, I feel. But maybe that's what you want to do. You want to stall. Maybe you want... I guess you could argue it is progressing you to a win con by giving you a strong keyword in the form of, you know, Overwhelm or something. So yeah, maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. I do think it is good, though. I just think it's only like a 1, maybe a 2 of in most of the Forge equipment decks. Now, Adept Weaponsmith. Very simple card. This is one of the cards I was thinking about when I was talking about, like, bland, but not necessarily bad, but just bland. 3 mana, 3/3, play Forge an Ally. It's like, okay, fine stat line, good summon effect. It's just nothing too flashy here, which isn't a bad thing. It's like a lot of the time, some of the best cards in the game are just these boring, good stat cards, just good summon ability, playability, whatever. So yeah, I like the card. I think it is a very powerful curve filler. Like, that's what it's doing. It's just helping you get your equipment just buffed up. You could argue it's technically a 3 mana 4/4 because of the Forge ability. But you do need a 1 or a 2 drop. So what's like, I mean, I guess there are 1 and 2 drops. You got Jax. Like, I don't know. I'm already looking at the curve. Like, turn 1 Weaponsmith Apprentice, turn 2 Jax, turn 3 Weaponsmith, forging Jax again. You now have a 5/4 quick attack Jax. It seems pretty strong, in my opinion. I think that's pretty strong. But yeah, like, if you don't have Jax, like, is there any other 2-drop I would play? Like, what else is there? I'm trying to look at these Weaponsmiths really quick as I'm rambling here. I think we might have another I'm missing here. I guess, like, Ionian Hookmaster could be a Weapon Master. I mean, Feareth dies because ephemeral. And I think it's just Jax and the Ionian Hookmaster are the only things you can play on 2 that will obviously stick around, that will have equipment on them. Like, you can play other 2-drops and forge them, but they won't be getting the +1/+1 to the equipment, which I feel like that's going to be the thing with Forge. You want the +1/+1 to go on equipment to give you value for when that unit dies, to just, you know, keep gaining more and more value on your equipment, just, you know, forging the equipment more and more. Anyway, though, that was the next card. Favored Artisan. Okay, 2 mana 1/4. Very defensive stat line. When I'm summoned, create a time and dedication in hand. Okay, what's time and dedication do really quick? That's very important to know. 1 mana focus speed spell, Forge an Ally. Interesting. Very interesting. So basically, 1 mana, give a unit +1/+1 at burst speed. Or give its equipment +1/+1 at burst speed. Or not burst, focus speed, sorry. So really, it's kind of like a 2 mana 2/5? Like, that's a really defensive body. I guess you could even argue it holds equipment well because of the 4 health. It's really stonewalls aggro pretty decently. We've had cards like this. I can't even remember the name of it. There's a 2 mana 1/4 in Demacian. It's just a 1/4 though. I guess you could argue. I guess it has the elite tag on it, but Omega Low elites. But yeah, I like this. It's a solid 2-drop though. Time and dedication is pretty decent as a spell. It's not fleeting too, so you can just hold it until you have a better you have a good target anyway. So I like this card. I think it's a solid 2-drop, solid filler for your Forge equipment decks. So yeah, big fan of this card. I think it's really strong. And our last card. I don't get it. Demacian Steel. 1 mana, +1/+1. That's it. Is something generating this? Like, it has a common rarity gem on it, so you can put in your deck, but, you know, other cards can generate cards that you can put in your deck, so I don't know. At the moment, there's nothing generating this. Like, specifically generating this, you could argue. Actually, no, we don't even... You can't manifest this with Conchologist. I was going to say, like, oh yeah, Conchologist. That's only spells. I guess it's like... I guess the upside is it's cheap. You can use spell mana, so it doesn't hurt your curve too much. It's a cheap equipment to get on your unit quickly to start getting value off of Forge. Just because one forge buff on Demacian Seal does make it a 1 mana +2/+2, which is pretty solid. I mean, 1 mana for +1/+1 is already fine. It's just not worth a card slot in the deck, but with one forge activation on this card, it's really good, or it's good. And with a second, so it's 1 mana +3/+3, then it's getting really good. So I guess that's what it's meant to be, is just a very cheap forge trigger holder. I don't know. I feel like there probably is something better. Like, honestly, I'd rather just use any of the improvised stuff instead. I'd rather just, like, play an improvised unit and forge the equipment, the improvised equipment instead. Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I just feel like I'd rather forge improvised equipment. But it's not bad once I start to now that I'm starting to think about it with forge, it's not terrible. And again, 1 mana is really cheap with spell mana, of course. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Like I said, not many exciting, or not really exciting, not many things to talk about because no real new keyword. I mean, I guess forge is kind of new, but nothing like crazy here. Just all solid stuff, like basically a solid base for Ornn. And I feel like we'll get the exciting stuff tomorrow, basically Ornn and a couple of other Ornn support cards. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about Forge, basically, and Improvise as well. I really feel like Forge and Improvise is looking really strong. Jack's Ornn seems like it'll be really good. Like, the value from all of this equipment just seems really good and really hard to stop as a control player. And it seems like it'll be breaking other mid-range decks too. So I don't know how you're gonna beat these Forge unit plus, like these unit-based Forge decks. I guess you could argue maybe their card draw is weak, so you can just outvalue them, but I don't know. Thanks to equipment and forging the equipment, even a small unit can get big thanks to Forge, or just thanks to equipment. So yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion on these cards and just what you think about Forge. Maybe I'm overreacting and Forge, you guys think Forge is, and Improvise is not as strong as I think it is. Maybe you agree with me. And if you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zenitton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!